Giving is better than receiving. I always like to help. In a way, I do feel blessed when I'm in the position to give. I recall how grateful I was when I joined the missionaries in Mexico after college at age 25. How I thought I could protect people when I picked the profession as an insurance agent. Of course, running my own insurance agency could be very challenging at times because I often had to deal with people suffering from tragic accidents. The work of a good insurance agent is not to give when asked, but to offer right coverage before the disaster hits. However, not everyone can be prepared, so I wish I could have done more. I don't know how depressed I would have been if I did not announce my retirement in the spring of 2020. COVID hit when no one was prepared for it. Although it is difficult for an active senior like me to stay home during the long year under COVID's siege, I still tried my best to do what I could. So early on, I worked with our team and narrated for the many videos urging people to be aware of the dangerous virus by washing your hands, wearing masks, and keeping a good social distance. When we found that that message wasn't necessarily what people wanted to hear, we brought up Nostradamus, hoping his warnings would get people's attention. Well, as we now know, when the virus started to spread like wildfire, everyone was on alert, although most are still not prepared. We are not prepared, and the leaders and the media were also unprepared. What made things worse was fake news and media's misleading headlines. At the beginning of the pandemic, we were shocked to see how China locked tens of thousands in cities before Europe's acclaimed health system collapsed. For the first time, we saw governments fight for resources, as if your neighboring countries or states were your enemy. So we saw chaos. We did not see hope. Actually, all of us thought things were calming down when the global daily deaths dropped from the April 17th, 2020 peak of 8608 to May 11, 2020's 3,949. But the virus moved quickly to new areas. Death surpassed the prior highs and hit 8551 on November the 3rd, 2020. And then it was like a runaway train and reached 17,348 on January the 20th, 2021. But the fast rollout of the vaccine brought the UK and the USA hope that the worst is over when these two countries secured hundreds of millions of vaccine and effectively covered about 36% of its citizens in only 4 months. And the USA's 7-day average daily deaths dropped from the 126.21 level of 34.73 to 425.21's 7.23. The UK dropped from the 125.21 level of 12.44 to 425.21's 22. Wow. So, was that War I? Sadly, no. Brazil quickly, Poland and India quickly moved up the chart, and the ground gained by the UK and the USA were lost in a new wave of the virus tsunami. Turkey and Iran saw huge spikes in both case and death, while even Chile, with 37% of the population vaccinated, saw cases jump from 126.21's 41.93 to 425.21's 64.02. That is a 53% jump. Wow. But this does not make sense. Why does the vaccine work in some country, but not the other? Logically, there can be two reasons. Number one, some vaccines are ineffective. Well, for that only experts can tell. Number two, reporting is off. Could some hospitals or governments intentionally are unintentionally mislabeled COVID deaths, are underreported confirmed cases. I know someone whose loved one died of unable to breathe. So many people die without getting treatment. So many politicians would love a number that makes them look good, while so many of us have no clue of what is going on. So maybe, like most of you, I was clueless. Well, you can call me clueless, but you can't say we did not try our best. We released a few books on Amazon, a ton of award-winning videos about the pandemic, and when we met an energy master, we challenged him to help COVID-ravaged countries. Our team first met Master One in a Chinese medicine award ceremony. His energy work, similar to Reiki, is considered a form of Chinese healing technology. Although I have enjoyed Reiki treatment for over 20 years, I was still skeptical about a Reiki kind of energy treatment for COVID-19. Because unlike Reiki, which is accepted as an alternative medicine in the United States, actually I first tried Reiki when I saw the Reiki room at St. Joseph Hospital 20 years ago. Chinese energy healing can be hard to comprehend. Plus, as an insurance professional, I have been trained to view everything with doubtful eyes, because it is part of my duty to protect people against fraudulent claims. The reason our team asked Master One to combat COVID-19 was because of a report we read about him on the internet. In 2011, he performed 17 remote energy works in a lab and in front of many scientists. After 10 minutes of work, 99.77% of hepatitis B virus in test tubes died off in just 3 days. Our challenge was for him to send positive energy from the universe to the only hospital in Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is a small country with only 38,000 people, located in the Alps next to Austria and Switzerland. And it was having the worst COVID pandemic ever. After just 8 days of work, we noticed improvement in both case and death ratio. However, when we revisited it after 4 weeks, we noticed recovery increased 76%. Comparing that with neighboring Austria and Switzerland, you can see night and day. And despite Europe breaking COVID records many times during that same period, Liechtenstein had 42 patients 3 weeks after the work was done. And when I checked back 2 months after the start of the 8 days' work, I found they had only 4 active cases in the whole country. Wow. So we asked him to help another country, Mexico. I know how crazy it sounded asking one person to help a country with 129 million people, having the 3rd highest COVID death toll in the world. But Master agreed to work on 1 hospital a week. We knew this meant it would be like dropping a bucket of water to a village having a drought. But Mexico's COVID death rate is about 10%, 3 times higher than most other countries. So if it works, the Master can save 3 times more people than working in other countries. We started with Tijuana General Hospital. The following week, the Master did 2 hospitals in Monterrey, as requested by a YouTube viewer. We emailed the name, address, and pictures of each hospital to the Master, and he would videotape his work before and after the weekly project to us. We knew how hard it is for him to take care of this additional responsibility when there's not even 1 hour free time he has on his calendar. However, we had to ask him to pinch in more when we saw Mexico's COVID number drop. So we started on the worst hit area in Mexico City. We picked 2 huge hospitals, and the following week we picked 4. Then we asked him to work on 6. The 7-day average death toll was 1095 when we started on February the 9th, 2021, and it dropped to 172 on April 7, 2021. When we updated our data with Mexico's revised case and death numbers, that is a 82% drop in 9 weeks. Wow. The master started working on the next 4 hospitals we gave him the following week, but halfway through, I had to ask the master to add 2 Brazilian hospitals to the receiving list, because Brazil not only was averaging about 70,000 new cases each day around April the 10th, a new dangerous variant was also found. Helping Brazil became a task immediately. But the master had to end healing on 2 hospitals he worked on for 2 days so he could put on 2 new Brazilian hospitals. On April the 12th, we started the new week by working on 3 Brazilian hospitals and 1 Mexican hospital. The week ended with a significant drop in Brazil's deaths and cases, but an increase in deaths on Mexico's chart. Although some of it may be due to reporting delays, we understand Mexico still needs our help. So the master agreed to still work on 1 hospital week in Mexico, while he focused also on Brazil. During this time, we noticed another COVID hotspot, Poland. Poland's pandemic went out of control and jumped from 14th in cases on March 22, 2021 to 12th on April 1st, then to 11th on April 7, 2021. Our team talked with an actress in Poland who agreed to meet on Zoom and collect updated information on COVID after the start of our work. To win her trust in the process, the master would send them 1-hour healing energy and change the taste of wine and fruit across the continents during the Zoom call. But the cinematographer got sick and delayed the meeting until April the 20th. Then he was not able to make it again, so we canceled the in-person project. But we did not let the Zoom meeting delay stop our Poland project. It started on 4/15/21, before the Zoom meeting for the Warsaw Medical University's hospital in Warsaw. 2 days later, we saw Poland drop back to 12th. Please note the drop in Poland was quite significant in the 2 days. But the reason of its dropping in rank is mostly due to the global 4th wave. Argentina started adding 15 to 20,000 new cases each day since April the 7th. Then it went even higher to 22,000 a day around April the 13th. Actually, India, Argentina, Turkey, Iran, and even France were devastated by huge COVID spikes they cannot handle. I know it is hard to believe, but please look at Mexico, Brazil, and Poland's COVID charts and compare it with the world's. You can call that luck, but all 3 of these countries were selected by our director, Sherry, who has never bought any stock in her entire life. So if she could predict the ups and downs of stock charts with the same precision that she's had with these 3 countries, she would have made millions in stocks. I attended the Zoom meeting together with 2 COVID patients helped by the master here in the USA and 2 Mystery Decoder channel viewers who experienced a 3-day trial when our team asked the master to do so we could verify the effectiveness of remote healing. Together we tested if he could change the taste of drinks and fruits within 10 seconds. And we finally all got to meet the master. So, how much can one person help the world?
大家好，我是万人，祈福大家健康平安。今天我应王世云小姐请求，针对新冠肺炎隔空发功，巴西2家医院、波兰2家医院、墨西哥1家医院、印尼1家医院，希望能够经由这些医院正能量的磁场散播到巴西、波兰、墨西哥、印尼及更多的区域和医院。巴西的医院是里约维多利亚医院、里约山马利塔诺医院、波兰卡洛兰医学中心、萨诺克自治州公共医疗中心专科医院、墨西哥卡布圣路克医院、印尼波尔华医院。今天时间是2021年4月27日，我将发功7天到5月3日。
How much can one person do? I recall a story when someone threw a starfish that was stranded on the beach back into the ocean. One person asked, "What are you doing? That won't help. There are thousands of them here." The person answered, "I know, but for the ones I put back into the ocean, they got their lives back." How many of you are willing to help people you don't know and probably will never meet? If we can help each other like this, the world will be a great place. This is Ken Peters. Thank you for watching.